Hello everybody, happy Wednesday. I'm still here. Still here. So, for those of you who don't see my community page, I asked a question and had a little poll, just kind of for fun. And because YouTube had to pay Trump $24 million or some figure. And a lot of it's going to go to the ballroom, and some of it's going to his political campaign or Republican or something. And I go, some bitch, I don't want to be part of that. And so I asked, what do I do? Do I leave? Do I leave YouTube? Do I leave the country? Do I eat a gummy and forget about it? And since I don't do drugs, I would have to start, and I don't think I want to do that. Or do I go to the beach? And the overwhelming response was go to the beach. Second was go to the beach, eat a gummy, and bring a sandwich. Sandwich wasn't part of it, but okay. So I hung out on the beach, ate a cups, walking away from sorrow on the beach. So, and it was, somebody had a great comment. It goes, yeah, see how this feels in 10 days. Exactly. So, so I'm here, you're stuck with me. And you know who else you're stuck with? Say hello to Psychic Duck, everybody. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I wouldn't let him go anywhere. Oh, thank you. Yeah. You guys owe me big time. Well, what do you want? A Lamborghini. A Lamborghini? A duck Lamborghini? Duck Lamborghini. Okay, duck Lamborghini. The other thing, too, that I was thinking of, well, what if I just not monetize this? And just not monetize, not get any money from the advertising and stuff. And I'm not asking for any kind of monetary, stuff from super chats or anything like that. YouTube just kind of does it so they make money too. And then I thought about, well, then I won't have the money to spend freely like I have now to certain political campaigns, like what was it? Hang on one second, and I'm going to pull this information. Election Truth Alliance. Also, This Will Hold. And again, both of these organizations are pushing for disclosure on the Kamala Harris win. Full disclosure on the win. So, ooh, as I cut the deck. Boom. Devil in the Tower moment. You guys can make your own interpretation on that. Whoa. Okay. So I am going to keep the ads in just the beginning, skippable. You can skip them if you want. And then I will take that money and I'm going to put it towards things that I never would probably put it towards in normal times. These are crazy abnormal times. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yep. I'm here. Let's take a look at some of the things. I mean, I went and did some hand therapy today. Made me feel real good. Still hurting. I can't wait for this to fix. Anyway, so I'm scrolling through news, AP News. Another thing that I'm now supporting. I've got a lot of news feeds I support, and it's just nuts. So, but I'm scrolling through the AP and I'm looking, I'm just going, is this a comedy show? Well, but it's serious. But really, this feels like a comedy show. This feels like we're in the Matrix. Speaking of the Matrix, on my other channel, I just put up a video where I talked about why tarot psychics have gotten it so wrong. Somebody asked that question, and it's been in my mind too. Why are we not getting the messages to give? It's like we're getting tease messages. Kamala Harris won. Yeah, but we got this pumpkin in the office. But Kamala Harris won. What good is it that you're telling me this? She's gonna win. She's gonna win. No. I'm like, what? So why? And so I try to answer that. There's many different theories on that. For me, just very quickly, tarot is an intuitive channeling, is a roadmap through this filter that can offer insights on what is the best path to take. So that's how I started out with tarot. It was just the possibilities. Let me give you this possibility, that possibility. And then you get to make your mind up. It's a little therapy. It's a little digging into the weeds, a little talking about it. See what the cards ask us to look at. And then you make your own decision. So I put that up on my other channel, Danny Shay Journey. And I was thinking, that's a goofy name. And I go, no, not really, because this is my journey. Even though it was set up to do shamanic journeys, it's also, this is just my journey. Me trying to figure this stuff out. All right, so let's just take a look at a couple of things. There was a couple of big things in the news that just really struck me. Every day there's another big news cycle, and it's just not one, it's like 5. So okay, so I think I want to read on 3 things kind of quickly because I addressed the first one before. But Hegseth and Trump in front of the American flag trying to act like Patton. And if you guys haven't read the George C. Scott opening monologue, I think it was a 1970s play, that's kind of what I thought Hegseth was going for. I don't think it really worked. Well, I know it didn't work. He's playing for the camera, and the disrespect that he has, and it's all this name calling and all this stuff, it's just all bullshit. It needs to go away. However, on this channel, you have to, because if I call anything other than Mr. Pumpkinhead, then I may get flagged, and I don't want to be flagged. So that's why I say names. And it's fun. Okay. Hegseth looking straight into the camera and going, F-A-F-O. I'm like, what? You're saying this to career generals? So it was really disturbing. And they weren't buying it. And then Hegseth goes, if you don't buy it, you can get out. And this is kind of what I read on before, that I think he's trying to get rid of some generals. He probably will. I think that'll be a big mistake if he does. The other thing he's talking about, here's where the comedy comes in. He's talking about the army is woke and he needs to do push-ups and pull-ups in a changing climate where wars are not fought with men, they're fought with drones. But going into cities, that's where you may need, you know, some strong arm stuff. For entertainment only. Did I say that? For entertainment only. Entertainment only. Entertainment only. And entertainment only. And the reason I do threes is because comedy comes in threes. And this is, it's not that funny. So, FAFO. Oh my gosh. And then he tells the generals, he goes, we need a fighting machine. We need to get rid of those sissy girls. I go, yeah, tell that to Israel. With their fighting men and women, the Israeli women, do not mess with them. Isn't, where did the actress Wonder Woman come from? Is she Israeli? Don't mess with her either. We need Wonder Woman. Give us that lasso of truth. Okay, so so he was saying that the generals need to be fit and fit. No more fat generals and admirals. And then the next guy up is Trump. And he's waddling up there. He can hardly walk. I'm like, the outrage that the media is not covering the dementia that's going on in that pumpkin brain. I think it's a seedless pumpkin. Just say that. Seedless. I can go down the wrong way with that, but I won't. I could, but I won't. Should I? No. Okay. How did the generals like this speech? Trump is going, wow, it's really quiet in here. No shit, Sherlock. I didn't say that. That was PsychicDuck. And, yeah, because that's what they do. They're non-political. Mr. Bone Spurs skipped the draft 5 different times, I think. 4 for college, 1 for Bone Spurs. Rambling. You know, these guys, you know, whether we agree with the military complex, which is a huge problem, but these guys are career guys. So I've never had a career that lasted longer than 12 years, I don't think. This tarot thing is going, it's getting up there. It's getting up to be one of the top of mine. But I would always switch. I don't know. I used to think it was bad. But when you meet somebody who has been in that position for like 15 years, you go, oh, I'll listen. 20 years, I'll really listen. 40 years, yeah. And then it gets to a time where they maybe not should be leaders, but they should be advisors. I'm not going to mention any names, Chuck Schumer. Follow Nancy's place. I'm a liar, Chuck Schumer. So, yeah, they should be advisors. Let the other people take over. So. Trump is rattling on for 70 minutes to these career generals and admirals who get pulled away from their very serious posts, who take this very seriously, who know what's going on. And then you listen to a Fox News guy who can do pull-ups. Well, I'll listen. If you can do 15 pull-ups, I'll listen. How many of y'all listen to PsychicDuck? PsychicDuck can't do any. Go ahead. Don't pay attention. Find out. All right, how are these generals looking at this? Yeah, it's 15 minutes in. How are these generals feeling after this? Now you got some that are on board and others. How's the majority? How is the majority of these generals feeling? They're tired. That's what I get. They're tired. How are these generals feeling? There was a judge that we'll mention that I have in my notes. A Reagan judge that said pretty much the same thing. We're treading on really dangerous ground with this seedless pumpkin head. Okay, let me drop this down. Okay, you can see who calls me there. All right, so how are these generals feeling? You know, are they gonna like get their troops ready to go into the cities? It's how are they feeling? Oh, I don't know if that was my hand or the card's gone. No, not right. Okay, how are they feeling? Ooh, they're feeling, if I just look at it, they're feeling a little disjointed here. This is the Page of Cups. They went in there, and let's just take a look at the image here. They went into this meeting, and they heard a bunch of wild, crazy shit about pigs flying and this and that, and they kind of got a little cut off at their knees a little bit. They got kind of knocked down to size, you fat generals and admirals, and they're going, what? What? But over here is a little heart. And so they are going, yeah, we're going to just sit here. Our hair is getting kind of knocked around, but we have a love for our country. I'm hoping that's where this goes. And when they're getting their knees knocked out from underneath them a little bit, metaphorically speaking, of course, did they not know what was happening or what they were walking into? Or did they not know it was going to be this deranged? When is the media going to start talking about the seedless pumpkin? Seven of Swords. This is hearing a warning. This guy hasn't gone in yet to take any defenses. He certainly took some feathers from the crow, from the raven. But let's just see where this goes, because this is normally sneaking in, grabbing some defenses. And we're talking about the generals. How do they feel about this? To me, it feels like it's a little unhinged. There's a warning coming with this crow. These hooded, masked men, ICE or whoever, are trying to overthrow something. And I'm hoping that these guys are the generals that are calling it out. Tower moment. This was a bigger deal than just pulling some feathers off a crow. This is what this thing is marinating in. In the past, as it relates, is the Empress. A lot of times this could be my Russia card that is in there. This is about, to me though, this card in this deck is all about world peace, is about paying attention to healing energies, the flow of things. At the top of the reading, Ace of Pentacles. Something new coming, new project, new, is it money that's coming in? It feels like new roots are being are being dropped from whatever these generals walked away from the meeting. Something's coming up. Let me kick these all over. Something's coming up to... since I'm talking seeds, I mean, you can see the roots dropping down from this Ace of Pentacles seeds. So, interesting that I keep mentioning that. And then we have the Knight of Cups. Is this the false knight? Is this the knight in shining armor? Is this somebody bringing forth a good message? Somebody's true. Somebody that loves the country. Internally, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is somebody who is secure. Reminds me a lot of the Empress in this deck. She's very intuitive. These generals, you know, they just don't pull a plan from, you know, out of thin air. I mean, they strategize with this. And then I imagine that a lot of times, especially when they're on the battlefield, they're using their intuitive skills that they've developed. Ooh, I wonder if anybody's remote viewing, because the generals are big into that. That's a tool in their arsenal. Interesting that I'm coming up with that thought. Externally, we have the Page of Pentacles. This is a new path forward. It's a little on one foot. It's not really solid footing, but it is. She doesn't seem to be struggling with it like the Two of Pentacles would. We have a little confusion. What is going on? And then final outcome. Oh, Lord. Eight of Swords. Their hands are being tied and they're taking a good look in the mirror. What's going on? They've got some magician energy coming up. And it's clarified by the star. So when we think of military, when we think of the military, and when we think of battles being won and lost, oftentimes we feel this way. Not that I've ever been, but right now we feel like that. We feel like our hands are tied. We don't know what to do. And in this deck, she's looking at herself with her hands tied, but her hands are not tied. So there's an appearance of can't do anything, can't do anything. However, clarified by watch me do something. And we get the Star of Hope. It's going to be a little lightning bolt here. Let's ask a couple something a different way. Will Hegseth, in his almighty hail wisdom, for entertainment only, did I mention that? Do I need to pull out my 3 cards, comedy cards? Is Hegseth going to fire, I laugh at this, some fat old generals and the ones that know what's going on? I know somebody who's a little overweight that they should fire, that we should fire. Okay. Is Hegseth going to fire some generals? Ooh, I think so. Yes, son. And this is where I'm going with this. When he does, he's going to be surprised because he's going to hit by the realization, by the illumination of the Sun card. We talked about this before. The Two of Swords. He's at a crossroads. They're going, well, and if it's the generals that are at a crossroads, but this is Hegseth going to do this? Yeah, I think he is. He's gonna work on it, debate it, and then which way do I go? Got these crows flying around, kind of tying me up. But then Knight of Wands, that's a yes. The Sun card is a yes. What are the generals? Are they going to make some noise and go against being silent? Are they going to start speaking up? Are they going to speak up? The ones who get fired and go, screw you. Are they going to, 3 cards, are they going to speak up? Oh, Knight of Wands. I said that's a yes card. It is yes. That's information coming out, joyous in a way. Knight of Cups, Knight of Shining Armor. We talked about, just how do the generals feel. I think they're going to come out with something. They got a love note. The Queen of Pentacles, security, confidence, calm, intuition. Yeah, I don't think it's the Tower moment, but they're going to come out with some pretty good information for us to listen to. All right. The other thing I want to read on is, not read on, just let you know. Boston Judge Young. And it would be good to search the internet for what he had said. Gets us away from some of the clickbait headlines of all the YouTubers, including mine. You can just shut it off and look at it right now. So this craziness in the administration with free speech and not free speech. We have the craziness of government websites in big red banners saying the radical left is causing this shutdown. Well, yeah, it's not radical though. The radical government, I don't want to go left-right with this, but the insanity of this government taking money away from USAID, taking money so that the farmers can't sell their product, and tariff so that the farmers can't sell their product to China, giving 20 billion, what is it, to Argentina, and then letting them sell China all the soybeans. It's crazy land. And now we're going to subsidize the farmers from the tariff money from us paying higher prices. It's insanity. It's too much to think about. But this one judge in Boston, Judge Young, he said, I fear President Trump believes the American people are so divided today that they will not stand up, fight for, and defend our most precious constitutional values so long as they are lulled into thinking their own personal interests are not affected. I got this from Joyce Vance. You can look at that's a simple way to do the research and support her channel. And then she asked the question, are we? Let's read on it. Are the American people so divided that they will not stand up and defend the most precious constitutional values as long as they're thinking it's not going to affect them? Are we going to stand up as a nation, as a whole? We need right, we need left, we need to stand up. And this media certainly isn't helping. Are we going to stand up? Are we going to stand up as a nation? Before Christmas, are we going to stand up as a nation to say this is not what we want? are we going to learn the lessons that we need to learn to stand up together? Page of Swords. It's going to be a tightrope. It's not going to be easy. We're going to be getting new ideas, new things. Page of Cups, Page of Swords. Two young energies. Information coming. It's based on strength. Let me drop this down. I'm just going to fly through this a little bit. Based on strength. We have the Knight of Pentacles, slow-moving knight in the past. Let's hope it's fast-moving in the future. We have the Nine of Cups, celebration, the wish card. This is a yes card. It's going to take work, hard work, the Eight of Pentacles. Can we do this? Internally, we got to feel more loss with this. We got to go, oh my gosh. And then we're going to go, well, what do we do? What do we do? Seven of Cups. What cup do I pick? Pick the right one. Do we huddle in this Four of Swords energy? In this womb of just hugging ourselves? Fetal position? Or do we get out of it? Five of Swords. Gives us a headache. We're still battling. I'm not... There's a yes and there's a no. This guy seems to be celebrating. This guy's going, ow, my head hurts. Clarified by Six of Swords, moving on to calmer waters, getting out of the turbulent water into the Nine of Pentacles. So yeah, we do have the wish card, but we have the abuse of power that's still going on. And this is winning at any cost too. So is it the abuse of power with this Five of Pentacles, just feeling lost, destituted? Or do we pick the right cup to get out of this fetal position? And then we go, hell no, we are winning at any cost, even though it gives us a headache. We're going to move on to calmer waters. We are going to be in our garden with the Nine of Pentacles, with abundance. It's going to be a rough road. Rough road. So we just keep fighting. We don't give up. I say that to myself as I contemplate going to the beach and eating a gummy. You can still fight on gummies. I heard that from PsychicDuck. Okay. One more thing, and then we're going. And this is a Kamala Harris thing. So, on its 12/22, so that's good. Oops, where am I? So, I got an email yesterday from, from this guy, Lewis. Thank you. He was down in LA, and he sent me a picture of this Art Deco theater. It's called the Wiltern. And I think it was the Wiltern. Wiltern, Western. Now I gotta look. Hang on. The Wiltern. And because some people go, I like it when you talk about music. I saw the Cowboy Junkies there. When they had their hit, Sweet Jane. I go, what a crazy rendition. Anyway, oops, come on, Danny. I just moved. So he went to get to hear Kamala Harris speak at the Wiltern. And had her book, and she talks about when she lost the election. And Lewis said the whole theater started chanting, "You won." That made my heart feel so good. If everybody around her is saying, "You won, you won. You know it's sitting in her. You know it's getting to her. And then yesterday I get an email from This Will Hold at Substack. And they are trying to get the votes recounted. They're saying Kamala won. So the email that I got said, could Florida's precedents that they've already litigated, Boardman versus Esteva and Taylor versus Martin County, invalidate election results without auditing a single ballot? So if you want to go there, go to This Will Hold at Substack.com. And so the question that I have, is there anybody that will, because if that's the case, right, that the certain like the Florida election is totally invalid, then everybody that Trump put in office is invalid, and that whole thing will go away. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad for our evolution as human beings. Certainly would make it feel a lot better. And the reason I say that is because of the video I put up on the other channel. But could something like this invalidate a number of states' elections? Is there a path forward for us to invalidate the Pumpkinhead win in 2024? Is there a way that could happen? This Will Stand says yes. This Will Hold says yes. They have some proof. They have some data. They say if it's fraudulent, which they seem to think it is, and they have data, and they have precedent, we won't read on what happens after that. I still feel like we need to get more of everybody in the U.S. on the same page. I know that we're on the same page, but everybody else needs to be on at least looking at the page. Okay, is this possible? Is it possible to happen? 3 cards, 6 cards, sorry. 5 of Swords, winning at any cost, moving on. I don't know if I shuffled these well enough. Knight of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Death, Rebirth. That's a yes card. And the Page of Swords. Is this possible? Let me drop this down. You take a look. You tell me, is this possible? We have the 5 of Swords, the abuse of power. We have moving on. We have a new vision, a new voice, a new way forward with this Knight of Wands. We have security in the background. We have the Page of Swords in the potential near future. Being a little risky, but almost making it to the other side, almost there. And then over the top, death, the ending of one cycle, the rebirth of another cycle. Will this happen? Can this happen? Yes. Yes, it will. It can, I should say. Not will, it can. All right, so I think that there's a couple of things, and you guys can do your own pendulum and stuff. When is this thing going to end? When is he going to go? And all that stuff. I'm not going to do that today, but don't give up hope on this. I'm not saying that she wants the job. Right now, I don't think she does. I'm not saying that she won't take the job in the future. And because she's a public servant, that's what she does. And, but, you know, she doesn't want to see a repeat. And so things need to be in place. Let's look at this real quick. Is there a behind, and I asked this before, but I'll ask it again. Is there a behind the scenes structure for when this voting fraud comes out? And it's curious to me that it's coming from Florida. It's not curious. Gore Bush, not curious. But they have a big machine down there. But it's odd that it came from Florida. So is there a political machine that is working behind the scenes to have everything in place if things start, when things have that rebirth card, when there is a rebirth? Yes, let me drop it down. Temperance, Lovers, Queen of Pentacles, Four of Cups in the past, not looking at the offer. Miss Harris, not looking at the offer. Two of Wands, weighing her choices. It's world implication. She's got her VW bus ready to go. California hippie. Still weighing things out. Are there things in place? They're still juggling things. They're still working on it. Three of Wands, waiting for the ship to come in, the wave. Five of Cups, still feeling a little loss. Going, oh my gosh, you got cups still full, but she's focused on what's spilt. Hopes and fears that we have a rebirth, and the fear is that we stay with the other side. And the final outcome, the Moon card. Still underwater. Information needs to come out. Legally, something is going to happen. Not is going to. Could possibly happen to get her out of the moon cycle. She's still wounded. She's still... So and away from Miss Harris, is there somebody in the background that's working this? I say yes, 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 but the main player, I think, is still a little underwater. But that doesn't mean another player can't come into the picture. Okay. That's it, guys. That's it. Just playing. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here on this Wednesday. All right. Peace and love.